What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing to you my September 2020 ban list predictions. Now, this ban list is going to be kind of a bit weird because we're going to get a ban list, but the question is it going to be like last ban list where they bring I don't know, only 3 cards back? Or are they actually going to make some changes? Who knows? But I'm just going to give you what I think should happen, because there is definitely some stuff that do need to be hit. Now, before we get into this, I do want to mention that this is going to look a little bit different compared to my last ban list predictions because of my computer hard drive fail, so I don't have access to my editing software, so I have to use Movie Maker, and it's not good. So I can't insert pictures of the cards that I would be hitting, so what I'm going to do instead is just, for some of them I have the physical cards and I'm just going to be showing them kind of like that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now first, I have Link Cross. Definitely needs to get banned. Some people say that Crystal Needle Fiber needs to get banned, and while yes, it does, I don't think it's going to actually get banned. They're gonna milk it. It's going to be kind of in the similar Engage, for example. They're just going to hit around it until they eventually hit the problem itself. So I don't think Crystal Needle Fiber is going to get banned on this list, the next list, or even the next 2 after that. Maybe in a year it might be. But in the meantime, I think a lot of cards are going to fall for Needle Fiber Sins. And the first one is Link Cross. Because Link Cross is, I don't really know a whole lot about the card because I don't have it. I don't use it in any of my decks, so. But from what I do know about it, it is a token generating card. How many of those do we have banned? And considering it, with Needle Fiber and Link Cross, it's kind of like the same problem as Summon Sorceress and Needle Fiber. 2 cards that can't exist at the same time. So one of them has to go, and they're more likely to ban Link Cross over Needle Fiber, since Needle Fiber is a much more used card compared to Link Cross, so they can afford to lose Link Cross more than Needle Fiber. Now the next card I have getting banned is this one. Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Yeah, this is a very unfair card, kind of like Mystic Mine. This is essentially, as long as this card's on the field, a Artifact Scythe. But the one thing with Artifact Scythe is that it's only for that turn when it's summoned. This is as long as it's on the field. So if you were, say, I don't know, activate this and then activate an anti-spell fragrance, you're pretty much going to be dealing with this almost the entirety of the game, or until you destroy it. And while the reason I didn't have it on my last list is because this card was getting a reprint in Armageddon that has passed. So now this card can be banned. Do I want to get banned? Yes, even though I do use it a lot and it kind of helps these smaller decks kind of compete, but top decks can use it just as well, so I'd rather it just be gone. Now the next card I have getting banned is Smoke Grenade of the Time Thief. Yeah, this is a card that definitely needs to get hit. kind of like an indirect hit to Infernobles, because Smoker of the Time Thief just rips cards out of your hand. Yeah, that is a lot of fun. Ripping cards out of hands as effectively as Smoker of the Time Thief is definitely something that shouldn't be in the game. That's why a lot of cards got banned or limited that did that. Like Trishula, for example, because you could loop Trishula to where you have no cards in hand. Same thing with like Awkward Dolphin. So should Smoke Grenade of the Time Thief be around? Nah. Plus we do need to hit these really powerful decks in some way, and as far as Infernoble and Dogmatica, they aren't going to get hit directly. They're too new. But they can get hit indirectly, like with Smoke Thief of the Time God. Or Smoke Grenade of the Time Thief. I want to say Goddess. Now the next card I have getting banned is number S0 Utopic Zexal. This card is insanely busted. Essentially, its effect reads as follows. Your opponent cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's pretty much it. And while yes, it isn't seeing a whole lot of play, it is still there, and it's definitely something that I think we can go on without, considering how powerful it is. And even if, like, some people could say, oh, then Numeron won't be any good, that's going to be good. Still, you're just taking away one tool. We still got Megaclops, for example, which can be used instead of Utopic Zexal, because Megaclops is a much more fair card as compared to Utopic Zexal. So it's for that reason that I think Utopic Zexal should be banned. Now I'm moving on to the limited section. Now I have kind of like 4 or 5-ish cards in this section. The first one might surprise you because a lot of people actually have it getting banned, but I don't think it's going to get banned. I think it might just actually get limited, and that is Block Dragon. Should this card get banned? Yeah, it should, but you also got to think about Konami isn't going to really want to hurt the new product a whole lot. So that's why I'm trying to be rather light on these hits. Like the bans of Lane Cross, Utopic Zexal, by no means do they kill any of the top decks. It's going to kind of like hurt them a little bit. But I think bringing Block Dragon down to 1 is still going to hurt the Emancipator quite a bit. But I don't know if there's a reliable way of searching Block Dragon. I don't know if the Gallant Granite does. I'd have to look back at it again, but I just think Block Dragon to 1 is more likely than a Block Dragon ban. Who knows, maybe I can be wrong and it actually get banned. Next up, we gotta hit it. Magical Meltdown. The invoked engine does need to get hit, because you got invoked Dogma, invoked Numeron, invoked Shadal, invoked this, invoked that. It is a highly splashable engine that it's just going to cause problems with another deck down the road. Which is why we were wanting it to get hit on the last Banlist, because we know Invoke Dogma, that's going to exist. And it does. And there are really only 3 cards that you can hit: Meltdown, Alistar, and Invocation. But I think we don't necessarily want to kill Magical Meltdown. Kill Invoke. But it definitely is a deck whose power does need to get hit slightly. That's why I think limiting Magical Meltdown to 1, not banning it, is the right solution. Because Magical Meltdown searches out your Alistar, which then searches out the Invocation. So it makes it much harder to get to your Invocation by limiting Meltdown to 1. Now next, I have a ban card that I am bringing to 1. Now there was one band card that I was thinking about. There was like two I was thinking about bringing to one, but the first one was Danglong, but I don't think that's going to happen. But this next one I think should happen, and it can. But bringing it back to 3 is definitely not okay. But bringing it to 1 I think it's kind of like a necessary evil, and that is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Thunder Dragon Colossus is kind of like the necessary evil. By just having it in the format, it's going to deter some search frenzy deck like Spirals. Because as soon as Colossus get banned, oh wow, Spirals and it's 50 searches. That's fun. So I think having Thunder Dragon Colossus at 1, it just keeps it around. So it kind of helps keep those types of decks in check, because I do think a deck that searches like 50 times is definitely not fun, because those are the ones that takes like 30 minutes just for the first turn, and that is not fun. I speak from experience. So I definitely do want Thunder Dragon Colossus at 1 as a kind of like a deterrent against those types of decks. Now the last card is a card that I don't think is going to get hit. I'd be surprised if it did. But if Konami is really that afraid of bringing Totally Awesome back to 3 because of this card, then I'd rather this card get banned, or not banned, limited, and bring Totally Awesome off the list. And that is Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark takes 2 level 4 water monsters, and then you can detach an extra Z material from the card to special summon 1 rank 3 or lower aqua water. One rank 3 or lower water monster. aka Totally Awesome. So it essentially gets you a free Totally Awesome, and Totally Awesome, it's a very powerful card. I'm not going to deny that, but I think both of them can exist at the same time. But if Konami is really that afraid, I'd rather them just limit or ban Bahamut Shark and give us Totally Awesome back to 3. Oh, I almost forgot about another card that I did want to get limited, and that is Scarlet Sanguine. I don't know much about this card because I don't play Eldritch, don't plan to either. The only way I will be playing Eldritch or do a deck profile on Eldritch is if you guys vote for it, but so far, at least as of recording this video, there hasn't been any votes, so that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. But we definitely do need to hit Eldritch. It's a problem. Limiting Lean Cross isn't going to hurt it that much, so by limiting Sanguine, it does kind of hit the consistency of Eldritch, which does need to happen. Now next, we move on to the semi-limits. Now the first one that I have getting semi-limited is a card that I was very sad about the reprint, and that is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I liked it the way it was because it was a very good dragon type that you could just put into dragon decks and it'd be a really good card. I didn't think it needed the reprint, but with the errata, we can bring it to 3 and it won't do much because it is. The main reason why it was so much of a problem before is because it was not a hard once per turn. You just keep using it. Now with its errata, it is a hard once per turn. So it is not the powerful card it once was. Kind of like with the Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy at the end. I think that's what it's called. And I think it's going to be in the kind of similar light to that. They just kind of slowly take it off just to make sure, rather than just sending it straight to 3, because that seems to be the Konami way. So I definitely think that this card is going to be semi-limited on the next list. Now, the next card I have going to 2 is Sir Meltbranch of the Burning Abyss. Now, I don't know much about Burning Abyss because I don't play Burning Abyss. I never have. But a lot of people really love the Burning Abyss deck. So I think giving this to 2 will be a very... because Burning Abyss isn't doing anything right now. Yeah, it gets the top here. Gets a top 16 there. But it's not really like making waves or anything. And I think if we bring Sir back to 2, that isn't going to change anything. And even if it does, it is a fan favorite deck, so people will definitely like to see it. So I think this card is perfectly capable of coming back to 2. Now next is a card that I hope comes back to 2. I've been waiting for it to come back to 2. And that is Morphing Jar. Main reason I want Morphing Jar to come back to 2 because one of my favorite decks of all time is Crawlers. That was like my first deck. So, and this is a card that would definitely be very powerful in that deck. It wouldn't be any good in probably any other deck, but as far as Crawlers, this Morphing Jar is perfect. And Crawlers can actually abuse it because they do have a trap that allows you to take a face-up monster, flip a face back face down. And even if you were to do that multiple times with Crawlers, it doesn't really gain us a lot of advantage. But it is still a very powerful card, and it would definitely boost Crawlers. And it's a flip effect. When was the last time flip monsters were good? They brought number 2 back to 3, straight from 0 to 3. Wanna know what happened? Absolutely nothing. I don't think anything's really going to happen with number 2 either, but I would definitely bring it to 2 before 3 just to kind of test it. Because I think the first one is much stronger than number 2, in my personal opinion. Now the next card I don't have the physical copy of it, but is Infernity Archfiend. Apparently Inferities are getting some new support. So I think it's similar to like a Deep Sea Diva. I'm always going to just take it off to kind of, for like the kind of like hype Infinities up. So I can totally see that happening, and I think that is probably what is going to happen. It might not happen on this list. They might wait. But eventually Infernity Archfiend is just going to kind of slowly come off the list to kind of help sell the new Infernity cards. Now the last semi-limit is Reasoning. Reasoning is a card that a lot of people have been saying can go to 2 for some time. Just hasn't happened. I much agree with it. Like, it's a powerful card, yes, but there's a lot more powerful cards than Reasoning. Now next is the cards I have going from whatever they are to 3. Now the first card I think can go back to 3 is Tour Guide of the Underworld, because it going back to 3 isn't going to do anything. It'll boost the Burning Abyss, but then again, like I said earlier, Burning Abyss isn't really doing much, so I think Tour Guide can go back to 3. The next card I think can go back to 3 is Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor is not really... Sky Strikers just aren't really doing much right now. Mainly just because the top decks are just so powerful. Everything else is just falling to the wayside, which is kind of annoying me, honestly. But Sky Strikers, they aren't doing much. I think it can come back to 3, and it's not going to change much. It'll boost Sky Strikers, but it'll be a rogue at best still. Now the next card I think can come back is Totally Awesome. Release the Toads. Bring them back to 3, because they shouldn't have been limited in the first place. I remember back on my my main channel, that's back when I was actually making my Yu-Gi-Oh content on my main channel, I reacted to the April Banlist, and I hated it, honestly. Because I was excited for a Toad, I was excited for like Frog Paleozoics, and I actually built a ABC deck for Master 05. A few weeks after the ban list, I just wasn't even into Yugioh at all. I was just so upset that, I was excited to test this new deck out on Master 05, and then it just limits it. Kind of killed the joy. So yeah, I do think Totally Awesome needs to go back to 3. And as I said before, ABC Dragon Buster. If ABC Dragon Buster was at 3, would that do anything? No. ABC Dragon Buster is a powerful card. Yes. But it ain't no Dragoon. It ain't no Needle Fiber. It's not Eldritch. It's not Emancipator. It's not Neuron or Utopic Zexal. All these cards are much more powerful than Dragon Buster. Even Totally Awesome is much more powerful than Dragon Buster. It's just a fun deck to play. It's a powerful deck, yes, but is it unfair in any way, even with 3 Dragon Buster? No! You think we're going to be using Dragon Buster? No. You think we can take advantage of Utopic Zexal or Block Dragon or any of these other new cards? No. We can use Union Carrier, but we don't have that broken card to take advantage of. Dragon Buster will just be rogue at best. So why was it limited? Why? Yeah, this card, it needs to come back to 3. I am praying that it comes back to 3. Out of every single card on the ban list that I want to come back to 3, this is the card I want back most. Because, as I said before, when it got limited, my hopes for Master 5 just sank. I was just like, I build ABCs for Master 05. Now I can't even use them. That was fun. So yeah, it needs to come back to 3. Konami, put it back to 3. Now I have 2 more cards that I think can go back to 3. The first one I actually mentioned earlier, and that's Pantheism of the Monarchs, because Monarchs, when was the last time they really did much anything good? Maybe in the form of True Dracos, but Dracos were never really the tier 1 deck. They were like rogue tier 2 best. So Pantheism can come back just fine. It'll boost True Dracos and Monarchs. And I would love to play True Dracos again. Now the last card. It's a card I've been saying that can come back to 3 for a while, and that is Trickstar Light Stage. Why was this card banned in the first place? Or, not banned, limited. I know it was kind of like a falling for Orcus sense, but Orcus is rogue at best now. So, we can bring Light Stage back, boost Trickstars, does nothing. Because the main problem with the Light Stage and why it's being so abused is because we had stuff like Rusty Bardiche, Nightmare Mermaid. Yeah, those cards are banned now, so why is Light Stage still at 1? I don't get it. Because with those cards banned, this card can easily come back to 3. And even, let's say Orcus can still use Light Stage. Is Orcus in any better of a spot? Like, it's not going to make Orcus the broken deck that it once was. It will be rogue at best even if we had 3 Light Stage. And honestly, I'm not even sure Orcus would use Light Stage without Mermaid and Rusty. So this card can come back to 3, and it changes absolutely nothing. Now that's it for my ban list predictions. Now let me know in the comments. Did you agree with my hits? Did you disagree? Do you think that Lane Cross isn't going to get banned? Do you think that Morphing Jars shouldn't come back? And if you say you think ABC Dragon Buster can't come back to 3, you're wrong. I'm just pointing that out. That card needs to come back to 3. So, I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.